Hey, got everything? Hey, you two, taken care of. All taken care of. Should be good to go to start. Sure. Let's swap over. Okay, that should be on the right type of alerts already. Alright, let's do it. Alright, back with Umineko Thursday. You know what day of the week it is, and what time it is. I think last time we just learned the riddle for Beatrice like riddle, and I think the grandkids were like going over how it could be done, how far Jessica and George have already gotten, kind of just collabing with each other, and the sad part that I'm just not going to talk about, I'm just not going to go over that part because I'm not going to get into that again, but it happened. And moving on to see what happens today. I was told last time that some crazy shit is about to happen, so I'm excited. Yeah, get this phone cord out of the way. I keep stepping on this stupid thing, dude. Goodness. Alright. The news ticker popped up on the top of the TV program we were watching. The disaster report told how municipalities all over were continually sending out rain, flood, and wave warnings. Of course, the raindrops beating harshly on the window were even more convincing.
すっげえ不利だな。でもこれだけ盛大だとすぐにやみそうな気もするけどな。
そりゃ雨ぜ。台風の速度が遅いそうだから、下手すりゃ明日も丸一日こんな調子らしいぜ。ちょっとの天気でも船は欠航するもんだしよ。
やっぱり日曜日のうちには引き上げられないか。念のため月曜日に外部とのスケジュールを入れなくて正解だったよ。
ってことは月曜の学校はサボれそうだな。島生活ってのも悪くないもんだぜ。そういや、ジェシカは登校って毎日船で通ってるわけだろ。船が欠航したら学校はどうなるんだ。カメハメハ大王並みに雨が降ったらお休みで風が吹いたら遅刻してか。
カメハメハ
船が出なきゃ休みになるぜ。
Don't think I've heard of that outside of DBZ.
もっともそう甘くはねえけどな。大抵その代わりに自習が指示されて後でかっちりと見られるから、そうそう気楽でもねえさ。
例えば梅雨なんかの長く天気が崩れる時期だと数日間くらい登校できないこともあるんじゃねえのか。
そういうこともあるぜ。でも毎日きっちり担任から電話がかかってきて、どう自習しろ、何を提出しろと酸っぱく指導されるけどな。
バトラ君が考えてるほど簡単にはサボれないよ。船で通う人たちのルールに従ってしっかり勉強をしているよ。
むしろ登校できた方が気楽だぜ。自分の部屋じゃ気が散るし、集中もできねえしな。
That's fair.
それでいて問題集ばっかり数日もやらされてると、かなり精神的に応えるもんがあるぜ。
That's kind of how it is working from home. Fine.
大学の時にはよ、寮のあるところに入ってさっさとこんな不便な島はおさらばしたいもんだぜ。
へえ。じゃあよ、ちなみに行きは天気が良くても帰りは悪くて欠航ってなったらどうすんだ？学校に泊まるのか？
そういうのはよくあることだぜ。だから帰島できない人用の宿泊所があってよ。そこに寝泊まりするんだよ。下手すりゃ数日間家に帰れないこともあったりするぜ。
乗車率が 200% を超えるような満員電車で毎日通勤通学しなければならない人から見てみると、船の通学なんて趣があって良さそうだななんて無責任に思っちゃうけど、やっぱりいろいろと苦労があるんだね。
よく無神経な観光客がそういうこと言ってるぜ。私は島の生活なんてもうお腹いっぱいだね。早く高校出てこんな島とはおさらばしたいぜ。
高校にだって全寮制のところとかあったろうよ。なんでわざわざ新島の学校を選んだんだよ。
私は最初からそれを希望してたぜ。でもおふくろがよ、当主後継ぎとしての修行やらマナーやらがうんぬんってうるさくてよ。結局高校も地元になっちまったのさ。
Supposed to be free. But that's to be expected.
こんな島はごめんだぜ。早く都会で生活したいよ。雨が降ろうが槍が降ろうがラフな格好でサンダルを履けば5分足らずでコンビニに行けるような都会に引っ越したいぜ。
もう少しの辛抱だよ。高校卒業まであとちょっとでしょ。
そのちょっとも我慢できねえぜ。
Something I don't think I thought about until like just now is I wonder how long the entirety of Umineko actually takes place, like day wise, like time wise. Because like this still kind of feels like it's only been maybe a couple of days, like maybe 1 or 2 days so far. So I'm just curious how long timeline wise it takes place. Just got stretched out and reclined in the sofa. Maybe it was a bad time slot because there weren't any interesting programs on. And we had nothing to do but languidly kill time until we were called for dinner. After that episode, Maria never returned to the cousin's room after. See, I was thinking about it, but also like I hope she's okay. I really hope she's okay. Aunt Rosa probably took her back to the mansion. It had to be pretty boring for Maria all by herself while the adults had a confusing conversation. We thought we might as well head over to the mansion to see her. The weather really was awful. And since there wasn't much time until dinner, we stayed where we were. At that time, we heard the sound of a humble knock. Jessica answered.
お食事の準備が整いました。
Dinner's ready.
お屋敷へお越しください。
Are we gonna have Kinzo or no? It was kind of Kinzo's voice. Did he go to all the trouble of coming from the mansion in this rain just to get us? Could he have called us on the telephone? Well, I guess servants at work don't always get to take the most efficient route.
なんとなくお腹が空いてきた頃だったしね。行こうか。
George Aniki turned off the television and stood up.
俺はとっくにペコペコ。本家の晩餐は毎回凝ってるしな。それにゴーダさん、子牛のステーキとか言ってなかったっけ？たまらねえぜ。
親族会議の日は特に豪華になるしな。私だって楽しみだぜ。行こう行こう。
Catch steak sounds pretty good. It does sound pretty good. As we left the room, Kenakun bowed silently in respect.
じゃあ行こうぜ。外の振りはだいぶひどいだろう。
はい。お召し物を濡らさぬよう十分ご注意ください。
After seeing the three of us out, Kenakun peered into the empty room.
マリア様はいらっしゃいませんか？
Oh, he doesn't know it's right.
一緒じゃないぜ。ローザおばさんと一緒じゃないのかよ。
Wait. Oh shit. The rubber bands. I forgot about that. Alright. I'll add those. I probably won't put the rubber bands on this stream, so I'm just focused on Umineko, but I'll add it to the tool. She wasn't. See, I was assuming she was with Rosa as well. Wait, hold on. You don't mean to tell me she's lost, right? Rosa was lying on a sofa in an empty parlor, having fallen asleep before she knew it. She was bearing a burden that the children couldn't even imagine. I fucking bet! That's why she only needed to let her guard down a little before the weariness immediately dragged her into sleep. Realizing this, she brought a blanket over to her. We tried to spread it over her. Her eyes snapped open as though she had been shocked with electricity.
ありがとう。源氏さんなのね。
When she realized that the thing that had touched her was just a blanket and that Genji had been considerately giving it to her, she let out a sigh of relief.
起こしてしまいましたか。
Go find your child.
失礼いたしました。
いえ、いいの。寝るつもりじゃなかったから。今は何時なの
Yeah. Okay. Dennis, I thought she was shocked because she forgot about Maria. But nah, she just got woken up. That's crazy. Oh my god. I wouldn't put it past her. I wouldn't put it past her if that's genuinely what would have happened. Like we saw how she acted last time we streamed this. We saw and we know what happened. So like to leave her out in that cold rain to actually look for her flower and just forgot. I would have been livid. I would have been so livid. When he asked for the time, Genji checked a pocket watch that he took out of his chest pocket.
6時を少し過ぎたところです。
Rosa gave her head a little shake when she realized that not much time had actually passed, even though it felt like she slept for ages. Even though she didn't feel rested at all, the drowsiness that had enveloped her must have been pretty.
ありがとう。毛布は結構よ。変な時間に眠っちゃダメね。 すっかり時間の感覚が狂っちゃったわ。雨、とうとう降り出したのね。
Rosa finally realized that the peaceful sound that had put her to sleep was actually the rain.
風もだいぶ出てるよね。いよいよ台風なのかしら。
Isn't there something you're missing?
そのようにテレビでは申しております。遅い台風だそうで、明日いっぱいはこんな調子だそうです。
そう。この素敵なバラ庭園も日中のあれが見納めだったのね。
From the window, what she could see of the rose garden was completely blurred by the wind and the rain.
マリア。
What about it?
そうだ。マリアは
On God, no way.
私はお見かけしておりませんが。
You dumb fucking bitch. That child. I'm telling you right fucking now. If that child is hurt in any single way, shape, or form, I will never forgive this woman for the rest of this novel. I swear to you.
ゲストハウスにお戻りではないでしょうか。
I'm not playing. Rosa knew her daughter's nature well. So a chill ran down her spine. Mia was stubbornly honest. If she was ordered to find something that didn't exist, she would look for it ever. Even in pouring rain.
違うわ。いとこの子たちは先に行ってしまったから、あそこにはマリア一人。あの子は誰かにもうやめろと言われない限り、たとえ槍が降ってこようとあそこに居続けるわ。
What about with spears? It's the second time someone mentioned naming spears. Why that specific?
傘もささずに。私は感情に任せてなんてことを。
Even though she'd known about Maria's simple honesty better than anyone, she once again lost control of her emotions and done something terrible. Rosa pushed Genji away and ran down the hall. Please tell me she's safe. Please, please tell me she's safe. Oh my god, I don't like this. I really don't like this. The outside looked really looked like a typhoon, and the rain was pouring down spectacularly. Maybe because of some aspect of the terrain, the winds weren't typhoon class, so an umbrella wouldn't have been torn out of one's hands. Even so, it certainly was a windy rain. There's no time to admire the roses being drenched.
とりあえず今はマリアが気になるぜ。
I am too.
まさかあの後もずっと一人でへそ曲げてあそこでバラ探しをしてるなんてことはないよな。
そうだね。さすがにこの雨じゃ。
Go get her, boys.
と思いたいところだけど、マリアちゃんはたまにすごく頑固でものすごく愚直な時がある。
We hadn't worried much thinking that Aunt Rosa had taken her back to the mansion. However, when Ganon-kun had come to the mansion to call us and thought Maria was here, we got a little worried.
お屋敷ではお見かけしませんでしたので、てっきりこちらにおられるとばかり。ローザ様は仮眠を取られておいででしたので。
ここに来る途中に見かけなかったのかよ。
申し訳ございません。傘を差し急ぎ駆け抜けたもので、そこまでの注意を払いませんでした。
If he had cut through the rose garden, taken the shortest line between the mansion and the guest house, then he would have just barely missed the place where Maria had been looking for a rose. And it was raining as hard too. It certainly would have been possible for Kanekun to fail to notice.
ここで議論するより直接確かめる方が早いさ。
Yes, please do.
兄貴、ちょいとかけっこと行こうじゃねえかよ。
6年成長したから僕に勝てるつもりかい？よし、決着をつけようじゃないか。
My money's still on George. George is number one fan, biggest fan. No bigger fan of George than me.
行こう。
George, Aniki, and I flew out into the rain. Just gonna Kanekun follow us.
Rosa おばさんだ。おばさん。
When George Aniki called back on Rosa, jumped at him and grabbed onto.
マリアはどこ？ジョージ君たちと一緒じゃないの？
いえ、僕たちはあの後マリアちゃんには出会ってません。
6 years ago, Maria was 3 years old. She was a cute and pure kid who just accepted what anyone said. 6 years have passed. She's 9 now, experiencing the ups and downs of things. Feel that someone should have taught her. I should have taught her something. But Maria, are you telling me you're still as innocent and pure as you used to be?
マリア
To an extent, yeah. As they circled the rosebed, something white unexpectedly turned to face me. It was a white umbrella. Thank God. Okay. All right. Maria was crouching down, holding a white umbrella, and still searching for that rose. Thank God. Well, at least, okay, she's here. She's still here, and she is alive and seems at least fine. So, thank God for that. Her face, which had turned bright red from her crying her eyes out, was dirty with water and mud. It was a truly pitiful sight.
お前まだ探してたのか。
見つからない。マリアのバラ見つからない。
We had probably been here since the rain started pouring down. Her shoulders were freezing. She looked tired to the bone, but fortunately, since she was holding the umbrella, she was completely soaked. Thank God. The umbrella probably came from the handbag Maria always carried around. Thank goodness. Seriously, thank goodness.
バトラ君。よかった。見つけたんだね。
ごめんなさい。またごめんなさい。
You know, in a way, since Rosa's the youngest, she's still a kid, kind of, you know? like kind of still into adulthood, but it's like that kid kind of mentality, if that makes sense. Aunt Rosa threw her umbrella aside and hugged Maria.
ないマリアのバラがない後でママも一緒に探してあげるからだから今日はお預けにしなさい今日はお預け
It looked like Maria still wasn't able to accept it. She no longer had enough energy left to resist. Just got kind of coon, cut off us.
すぐにお屋敷でタオルの用意をさせましょう。
Good looks.
マリアずっとここにいたのかごめんね本当に悪いままでごめんね
Okay. It's a good start. It's a good start.
ローザおばさん、とりあえずお屋敷に行きましょう。このままじゃマリアちゃん風邪をひいちゃう。
そうねマリア行きましょうちゃんときれいにしないとおじい様に怒られちゃうわよ
As if kids would really show up. What is this? Oh, never mind. You hungry?
もう食事の時間だぜマリアはよく頑張ったよ天気が良くなったら私たちも一緒に探してやるから
Couldn't stay in the rain forever. We took Maria with us as we headed back to the mansion. Maria apparently wasn't worn out as I thought. She remembered we were having calf steak for dinner. She started chanting, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Ooh. And returned to her usual spirited self. Well, that's good. That's good. Aunt Rosa didn't chide Maria for saying, ooh, good. After what you just did, you won't have a single thing to stand on.
そっか
I'll add it to the queue. The queued amount. Let's see.
傘を持っていたのかさすがマリアは物持ちがいいぜマリア傘なんか持ってない
What do you mean by that?
なんだよ。じゃあその手に持ってる白い傘はどうしたんだよ。
Yeah.
貸してもらった
From who? Some caring person must have brought her an umbrella. Yeah, but this isn't like like a random neighborhood or like the streets or whatever. This is like a secluded private island. Like what? It has to be somebody they know. 5 more rubber bands. I got you. Here. I'll put all the rubber bands on at the end. A normal kid would look for shelter once it started raining, but Maria was too stubborn to give up so easy. So maybe that caring person gave up on telling Maria to find shelter, then decided to at least give her an umbrella?
そうその人にお礼を言わないとね。誰？
Yeah. The big question here. Who? You're gonna tell me Beatrice just floats down from heaven and just gives you an umbrella, huh? Wait, dead ass? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, genuinely? How? Oh my god. Okay. Let's run with it. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Let's run with it. Let's see how. How? The name Maria cheerfully mentioned was that of the island's witch. Rosa took a deep breath and asked again, trying to do so in a way that wouldn't damage Maria's good mood.
そうよかったわね。それで誰なの？傘を持ってきてくれた人は。
Any curtains, man? It's way too bright back there.
おお。ベアート。いいぜ。おお。
Maria immediately realized that her mother didn't believe her, started crying out unhappily again. You couldn't just go with it? You couldn't just run with it? Like, come on. We just got her in a good mood. Beet rice? I'm telling all my kids that this is beet rice. Right here. So Rosa stopped pursuing the subject. It'd probably be faster to ask whoever lent Maria the umbrella during dinner rather than ask Maria herself. So Beatrice just, like, casually graced Maria with her presence and gave her an umbrella. Like, actually, like, what? Wait, what? How the hell is that possible?
せめて晩餐にだけは出席してください。
That's Guess so. Okay, I guess so.
これでは親族会議になりません。
Have I earned the right to casually call her one of my oofs? Can I say that? 'Cause I'm not a veteran yet. Along with a dull pounding on the door, the sound of Kraus' entreaty could be heard. However, that voice seemed to be resigned to the fact that nothing it said would be heard. Fuck. Finish episode 3? Damn. Alright. It's like 700 hours from now.
金蔵さん、せめて夕食くらいは出んかね。あんたの顔を見ようと息子さんたちが集まってきてるんじゃないか。黙れなんじょう。ビショップが聞かぬか。言って足りぬ。
Apparently, Kenzo was completely focused on the final battle of his long-lasting chess match. Kenzo's brow was wrinkled as he continued to glare at the game board through his spectacles. Krause's voice didn't reach his ears.
金蔵さん、私も腹が減った。下に降りて食事をせんか。
ならばお前だけで行くといい。私はもうしばらくこの一手を吟味させてもらうぞ。
I'm almost convinced Kinzo survives off of just alcohol and photosynthesis at this point.
今夜で決着をつけてやる。さもなくば、お前との決着は金輪際つけられそうにないからな。
Maybe he consumes the alcohol through photosynthesis. Nanjo rose from his seat, hoping this would prompt Kinzo to do the same, but Kinzo's eyes never moved. He knew well that Kinzo always displayed a blind concentration when it came to chess. But he'd never seen Kinzo concentrate as hard as this. It was almost as though Kinzo was telling the truth, and there would never be another chance for them to continue their contest if they didn't finish tonight. It seemed that no matter how obstinately he called out to Kinzo, it wouldn't reach the latter's heart. Nanjo gave up, and headed to the door. Krauss was still banging. There it is. That's us starting the load save. The door to the study opened. Krauss was taken aback, thinking that maybe Kinzo was actually coming in. However, Nanjo was the one who appeared, and Krauss let out a sigh.
南條先生、親父殿は
お役に立てなくて申し訳ございませんな。今や金蔵さんの世界はこの部屋だけです。
Nanjo shook his head with a completely defeated expression. Krauss raised his fist once more and banged on the door, shouting.
お父さん、聞こえますか？私たちは下へおりますが、気が向かれたらいつでもおいでください。
Yeah, it's pointless.
息子兄弟一同、ずっとお待ちしておりますよ。
His voice was very loud, and he was making a racket pounding on the door. No way it wouldn't reach Kinzo's ears. Well, it certainly was reaching him, but he ignored it anyway. However, unlike the time he'd been called down for lunch, he didn't fly into a rage. By now, Kinzo was calm at heart. It was as though he had taken on a philosophical view and turned himself over to fate.
晩餐にも息子たちの顔にも興味はない。私がここを出るのはベアトリーチがよみがえる時か、私が鍵の生贄に選ばれた時だけだ。
Well, apparently, according to Maria, she has been resurrected. But he isn't.
もう悪魔のルーレットは回っている。今さら晩餐に何の意味があろう。
As though the painfully loud banging on the door completely failed to enter his hearing. Kinzo silently thought about his next chess move, still in his philosophical state. Just as always, Kinzo's figure couldn't be seen anywhere in the ending hall, or dining hall. Krauss, wearing a bitter smile, returned with Nanjo.
親父殿は相変わらずご気分が優れられないそうだ。年に一度の親族が集まるこの機会に同席できないことを非常に残念がられておられた。
Ava and Rudolph sniffed. Given Kinzo's personality, there was no way he'd show any signs of regret. None of his relatives showed any regret at his absence.
ではディナーを始めようじゃないか。
Hold up. What's up? What is it? Did I skip something? Oh. Oh, okay. Alright. Hold on.
ゴーダ、始めたまえ。
Begin. Yo, Sensei coming through with the raid. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Happy to see y'all. Happy to see y'all. I hope you had a good stream. Today's Umineko Day, so it's kind of silent reading time. You guys are more than welcome to stay and hang out, but yeah, we're just reading Umineko, just hanging out today. Appreciate the raid though. Hope you had a good stream and get well soon. Definitely get well soon, bro. Happy to see you guys.
かしこまりました。それでは始めさせていただきます。
It's, I guess, kind of detective. I guess. Ventralic, you could probably explain a little bit better for the new people here. I mean, you're the Umineko expert. It's got some detective in it. You're gonna raid and run? Alright, no problem. But we have a good night. When Goto was told to start the family conference dinner, his biggest time to shine of the whole year, he nodded with a broad grin.
マリアに傘を貸してくれた人は誰かしら？
Is there anybody that's gonna genuinely believe it's Beatrice? Like somebody. There's gotta be somebody here that's gonna believe. When Rosa timidly cut through the silence of the dining room, everyone noticed.
傘？
Shout out to Duolingo. I did see it.
何の話？そのさっきマリアがバラ庭園にいた時に雨が降り出して誰かに白い傘を借りたみたいなんだけどお礼が言いたくて。
俺たちじゃねえぜ。
Oh, let me also do that. I forgot how to do the shout out command. I'll do that later.
ローザが出てった後は部屋を移してずっと仲良くおしゃべりをしてたからな。
Friendly chat. Yeah, friendly chat. That's a funny way to put that.
そうやで。
I kind of wish that I had like my memory erased of that whole entire like last stream and just conversation, like the whole battle between the siblings and Kraus. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good, and how Kraus turned on each and every one of them and won in the end. Oh my god, dude. Like that shit about Umineko is amazing. I wish I could see that again.
あの後も兄弟で仲良くおしゃべりをしとったのや。
The Kraus finesse. Like seriously though, he finessed the shit out of him. Oh, he was so good. He was so good. The word friendly fell awkwardly from Hideyoshi's lips. So even those who hadn't been present could tell the conversation hadn't been a pleasant one.
少なくとも私とエヴァとルドルフとあと秀吉さんとキリエさんではないことも確かだがね。
私たちは夏日姉さんとローザさんが出て行った後もずっと一緒だったわ。
Oh yeah, what happened to Natsui? She just kind of ran off to her room.
食事の時間までずっとね。
I don't think she ever came back.
兄さんは源氏さんと一緒にお父様を呼びに上の書斎へ。私たちはそのまま食堂へ直行したもの。だから私たちではないわね。傘を貸すなんて親切、使用人の誰かじゃないの？
じゃあ合田さん
Not quite.
私はずっと厨房で準備をしておりましたもので、申し訳ございません。
Goro looks slightly disappointed about missing this chance to show off. At the time, Shannon and Kumasawa, that's who would believe her. Kumasawa. I couldn't remember her name, so I keep saying it wrong. But Kumasawa, if she heard what Maria said, she would believe her. I bet she would. Shannon and Kumasawa appeared, pushing a serving cart loaded with hors d'oeuvres, right?
じゃあ熊沢さんかシャノンちゃんかしら
I swear this game is challenging my intellect.
何か粗相がございましたでしょうか
Because Shannon had come in part way, she shrank back, mistakenly thinking that the others were searching for the one responsible for some error.
違うよ。マリアちゃんがバラ庭園に一人でいた時に雨が降ってきてね。誰かが傘を貸してくれたんだよ。ローザおばさんがその人にお礼を言いたいって言うのさ。
Tell him again. Tell everybody who it was, Maria. They did not hear you the first time.
ベアトリーチェ
Mm-hmm. Maria, her mouth a thin line, said the witch's name in a small voice. Rosa explained the situation one more time. She did. What did they say? What did they say? Kumasawa-san kaku.
私たちでもございませんよ。私もシャノンさんも一緒にお部屋の準備をしておりましたから、お外には出ておりません。
はい。気が利かなくてすみません。
部屋の準備とは何のことかね。
この雨ですから。
Hey, welcome back. Did you find your pride somewhere on the way here? Did you drop it? I think you might have dropped it in the room or something. You might want to go back and look for it.
客人の皆さんがゲストハウスにお帰りになられるのも大変かと思って、使用人たちに屋敷内の客室の準備をするように命じたのです。
あら、気が利くじゃない。そうね。この雨の中、表に追い出すのは失礼だものね。
もう予算か。
Even he's getting tired of it.
はい。奥様からそのようにご指示を受けまして、私と熊沢さんとカノン君の3人で準備をしておりました。そして、ご夕食の時間になり、源氏様からゲストハウスのお子様方をお呼びするようご指示をいただいたため。
ええ。ですから、カノンさんがゲストハウスに行かれるときに、マリアさんを見つけて、傘をお渡ししたのではありませんか？
ほー。
You're gonna piss her off.
違う。
What did she tell you? The person who had actually received the umbrella denied it. So it was trouble. All she wanted to do was give a word of thanks to the person who had lent the umbrella, but she couldn't find it. And you never will, unless you were picked as part of the roulette. It's probably the only time I can see it. When do we commit murders? I don't think that happens in this. I've been told that I don't think there's any murders or any death. It's a different type of mystery. I actually thought asking like this with everyone gathered for dinner would work immediately.
じゃあ夏日姉さん
It's a lot to unpack if you haven't been here from the beginning or know the context. Don't worry about it. Just Just enjoy the ride.
ごめんなさい。私は皆さんとの仲良くの語らいの後、頭痛がひどかったので自分の部屋で休んでいました。ですから表へは出ていません。
なら誰なの？ジョージ君たち？なわけないわよね。
They already denied it.
いえ、僕たちじゃありません。僕たちはずっとゲストハウスでテレビを見てました。
むしろ私たちはマリアはおばさんと一緒に屋敷に行ったとばかり。
そこへカノン君が来て、マリアは一緒じゃないのかと聞いたんで、初めて屋敷にはいないのかって分かったんだよ。第一俺だったら傘を貸すより先に手引っ張って屋根の下に連れて行くぜ。
Rosa was completely baffled. What is this new theme? One by one, the relatives and the servants denied that they had done it. So who done it? Even though it really wasn't something anyone would need to hide. So by process of elimination, the number of remaining candidates wasn't large. It wasn't Nanjo, it wasn't Genji, and it certainly wasn't Kinzo. This theme's a little... This is an interesting theme.
もちろん私でもありませんが。雨が降り始めてすぐの頃、金蔵さんの部屋を訪ねて、ついさっきまで一緒にチェスをしておりました。
Haunted ass umbrella, right? Guys, what if it really was Beatrice?
ということはおじいさまでもない。
Could have been Beatrice, like she said.
なんだなんだ、妙な話になってきたぜ。あと残るのは誰だ？
That's a good question.
じゃあ誰？
That's a new face.
源氏さん？ちょっと待って、勘違いしないでくれる？別に私は何かの犯人探しをしてるんじゃないのよ。
Yeah, nobody did anything wrong. Yeah, no, don't worry.
雨の中のマリアに傘を差し伸べてくれた人に母としてお礼が言いたいだけなの。
I think this is also getting a little bit deeper than it needs to be. If she's not going to accept the fact that it was Beatrice, I'm also going to say. Giving an umbrella to a girl loitering in the rain is something to be praised, not hidden. Despite that, no one raised their hand. Why not? Everyone started whispering how strange this was getting. Stranger things are happening, huh? Okay.
落ち着けよローザ。傘を借りた本人に聞けばいいじゃねえか。
What a great fucking idea, Rudolph. Why didn't we fucking think of that? Guys, why didn't we think of that? That's what everyone had been thinking since the beginning. We're all scratching their heads at why she didn't just ask Maria, who had been given the umbrella. Look at this fuck ass. You're right. You're right, though. Like, what? Was he just not there for like the past, like, what, 2-3 minutes? We were just asking her. She said it 3 times now. Who gave her the umbrella? But it's y'all that's on copium and don't want to believe it. But Rosa bit her lower lip. After all, she already knew how Maria would answer if asked. That's right. Oh? And what have you come up with, Hideyoshi?
ルドルフ君の言う通りやないか。
マリアちゃん、おじさんに教えてえな。マリアちゃんに傘を貸してくれたの
Oh
は
my
誰や？
fucking! I gotta turn off my AC, dude. Never, bro. I did. The dining hall was wrapped in silence for an instant, but it was soon interrupted by a burst of laughter. Oh, they're laughing at her. You really think that's the smart thing to do here?
なるほど。森の魔女ベアトリーチェが不憫に思って傘を貸してくれたか。
Is it really so hard to believe though?
いい話じゃないかね。ローザ、そういうことだ。
Rosa couldn't believe it. Even though she just wanted to say thanks for the umbrella, why did everything have to be so clouded in smoke? Poor Maria, exactly. Nobody wants to believe her. I'm just saying I believe her. I can totally see it. I can totally envision it. Poor Maria. Okay, this phrasing, this wording is kind of important here, though. Do you know what this makes me think, right? Welcome! Welcome, Mandible. Good to see you. She says bar. I think this is like the second or third time she specifically said bar, right? This means that at some point she's got to give it back, right? Which means at some point Beatrice has to come back for it. So could we actually see her? Is it possible? I'm dying. I'm dying to actually just see Beatrice. Every time I look at this in Steam, I already see the sprite, but I want to see her in here. I'm dying to know when that's gonna be. I hope it's soon.
それはよかった。無垢だというのは実に羨ましいことではないか。なあ、諸君。
House was laughing, a face that was clearly mocking. You don't truly think she exists, do you? Lakos? It's just a rumor. No, I do. No, I do. I truly think she does exist. I told you. I told you from the start. I'm in it for the long run. I'm in it for the long run. I totally believe. I genuinely believe. I think that an actual IRL concept of Beatrice does exist. Like, even if it's not specifically a golden witch, I think something of that manner and demeanor actually does truly exist. Aside from all of this. But Maria was overjoyed, apparently convinced that her claim was being believed.
一体どうなってんの？まさか本当に魔女が現れて傘を貸したってのかよ。
Yes. Jessica asked me in a small voice that wouldn't carry over to Maria, sitting across from me.
マリアって冗談が言えるタイプだっけ？
I like how we're finally kind of getting into like the mystery mood here with like this theme that they put on, and like everybody's like, well, who actually did it? Like, what's going on? Here we are. The meat and potatoes. If we'd heard that kind of story pop out of my old bastard's mouth, we would have taken it as another joke. That's because Rudolph's a joke. However, it was hard to explain it away like when Maria said it. So it's getting pretty unnerving.
いや、
What's the matter, guys?
昔から愚直なぐらい正直で真面目だよ。
You don't believe in Beatrice?
普通なら聞いただけで嘘とわかるような冗談すら鵜呑みにするタイプだぜ。
Be nice to Rudolph? What has Rudolph ever done that's actually been good? What has Rudolph done today, or in general, that's like redeemable? You tell me. You give me a good reason. I don't think so. I don't think so.
マリアから冗談を言い出すなんて聞いたこともない。
Aunt Rosa probably knew that better than anyone. It appeared that because of this weird situation, he had no idea what was going on.
じゃあマリアがベアトリーチェに傘を借りたと言ったなら、それは間違いなくベアトリーチェなのか。
Yes, yes it was.
マリアに関してだけは何かの比喩とか冗談とかそういうことは
A silly joke or two? I mean, everybody jokes. That doesn't make Rudolph an exception.
額面通りの意味だと思うべきだろうよ。
I'm just saying, if it was like Total Drama Island, right? I'd vote him as one of the first to go. It was Krause until Krause pulled like the ultimate fucking 200 IQ chess move in the last stream. Now it's Rudolph. I can't kick out Krause.
じゃあなんだよ。源氏さんあたりがあの肖像画のごついドレスを着てマリアに傘を持って行ってやったっていうのか。
You can hate him, but you gotta respect.
そんなことは知らねえぜ。私が聞きたいくらいさ。
Jessica shrugged, joking, but her expression didn't completely match her attitude. Once the hors d'oeuvres were set out and Goda showed off his vast store of knowledge, the meal began. A couple casual chats broke out here and there, but they seemed somehow distant. And the meal ended up being so quiet she couldn't ignore the sound of the rain sneaking into the dining hall. Well, that was a little bit of an ominous scene. But hey, you know what? At the end of the day, she got the umbrella. She was safe, so I'm sure they'll move on. Kumasawa and Shannon, pushing the serving cart, ran into Genji and Kennen on their way to the kitchen.
ケンジさんですか？マリア様に傘を貸されたのは。
傘？何のことだ？
はい。雨が降り出した時にマリア様は一人でバラ庭園におられたそうで、そこでどなたかに傘をお借りになったそうなのですが、それがどなたかわからないのです。
僕じゃないよ。マリア様はゲストハウスにいると思ってたくらいだからね。バトラ様が最初に見つけられた時にはもう白い傘をお持ちだった。
申し訳ないが、それは私でもない。
Hope I have a white umbrella in FF.
じゃあまさか親方様。
Both in the dining hall and right here, everyone had stated that they hadn't done it. That only left Kenzo, but if he wouldn't leave his room for dinner, you think that he would leave his room to give Maria an umbrella? Let's be real. Let's be real here, folks.
何かのご用で廊下を歩かれているとき、偶然バラ庭園に傘もささないマリア様が見えたとか。
親方様はマリア様のことをあまりお好きではない。
同感だね。親方様がマリア様のために直々に開花までお越しになって傘をお持ちくださるとは考えられないよ。
Yeah, that too.
あら、困りましたわね。では、マリア様に傘をお貸しになられたのは、本当にベアトリーチェ様ってことに？
Kumasawa laughed, just like the relatives in the dining hall who had laughed it off. She couldn't think of any other way to break through the smoke veiling the current situation. Just then, the crisp sound of hands clapping twice rang through the hallway. Is that Natsui? Oh. They all turned around at once to see Goto coming out of the dining hall.
さあさあ皆さん、ディナーは配膳のタイミングも大事です。すぐにスープの配膳に取り掛かってください。
Soup? What kind of soup are they having?
源氏さん、彼女らは大切なお仕事中ですので、お引き止めになられないでください。
Can he do that? I thought Genji was like above everybody. Like he's like the head butler. Canon glared at Goda for being rude to Genji. First, Canon respected. I think I might have been onto something. Genji, realizing this, patted Canon once on the shoulder as a warning. Canon reluctantly turned away and returned his expression to normal.
ゴーダの指示に従いなさい。今は晩餐の配膳を急ぐように。
ほらほら、時間がありません。タラタラしない。急ぎますよ。
Gonna grab the serving cart from Shannon and steadily pushed it towards the kitchen.
では、私どもも厨房に戻らせていただきます。ゴーダさんも気の短い方ですからね。
I can't remember what I said about him last time. I know he was the one, I think he's the one that greeted everybody off the boat, but I think I don't like him. I don't think I like Goda. I can't remember all the reasons why though.
私もこれで失礼いたします。
Kumasawa and Shannon left. Only Genji and Canon remained. Through the window, the darkness of the rainy night could be seen, along with the occasional thunderbolt.
源氏様、ベアトリーチェ様が本当にお戻りになられたのでしょうか。
わからん。
I like that he said I don't know instead of no. Does he truly believe?
親方様にお知らせしますか。
せずともよい。本当にお戻りになられたなら、やがておのずと親方様の前へ現れよう。
It's true.
それに、あれは気まぐれなお方。
Wait, he does believe. Oh shit, he's like fully describing her. Like he knows her personality. Okay, no, he's definitely like interacted or seen with her before.
親方様にご報告申し上げたところで、お姿を現されないことには何の意味もない。
親方様の儀式はすでに始まっているということでしょうか。
The master's ceremony?
おそらく。だがそれは我ら家具には何の関わりもないこと。
Is he talking about the roulette?
親方様に受けたご恩を最後の瞬間まで。
Until our final moments? What? What is he talking about?
はい。
Is this like a premonition?
それが僕たち家具の務めです。
The thunder crashed once more. Except for those instants when lightning lit up the sky, nothing could be seen out the window but the darkness of the night. Just as humans rule when the sun is up, those that are not human rule when the sun is down. The darkness of night, now that surrounded Rokujima, was ruled by another master, not the Ushinomiya family. This master would take pity on Maria when she was alone and being pummeled by the rain in the rose garden, lending her an umbrella. Canon looked at the rose garden's lights, dimly visible beyond the window. The dim lights weren't enough to illuminate the surrounding area. Looking at those lights felt like making eye contact with the witch hand and forced himself to avert his gaze. That's aura. She's got aura. If he didn't, it felt like his eyes would be absorbed by that light. Can the weather change how people act? Yes, I've seen it. You often hear stories about how things like atmospheric pressure can influence people's moods and physical health. Yeah. For some time now, everyone has been struggling to clear the gloomy atmosphere. But any conversation was quickly cut off, and in the end, the dining hall was simply filled by the sound of the rain. I don't know if this happens with anybody else, but like, my knee used to hurt when it was going to rain, or when it started raining. I don't know if like that happened to anybody else, or I'd heard about that. But it's kind of related to this. Dessert was some kind of chocolate cake accompanied by pear sherbet. Ooh. That sounds good. I haven't had cake in a while. Goto-san enthusiastically explained the recipe as soon as the final dish was presented. But I quickly forgot the details. The guest of honor, grandfather, was absent. The weather was horrible, and the identity of the one who lent Maria an umbrella remained a mystery. When dinner ended, no one felt even one bit refreshed. And it was too late now, but I realized painfully that the taste wasn't the only important part of the meal. The whole atmosphere was also critical. Goto-san, the supposed conductor of this musical piece called Dinner, did his best to enliven the place, dropping little jokes left and right, but apparently none of them succeeded. After taking orders from dinner, coffee, tea, and orange juice, he left for the kitchen. As soon as he disappeared, Uncle Kraus spoke.
やれやれ。
やれやれ。
せっかくゴーダが腕を振るってくれた晩餐も、こうも沈み込んでしまっては実に味気ないというものだ。
what can you do?
まったくね。今日は何を食べても美味しく感じられない、そういう気分よ。
ほう。どうしてそういう気分なのか聞きたいね。心が晴れ晴れできるよう、兄として後で協力させてもらうよ。
Aunt Eva grimaced slightly. I don't remember if she was on good terms with Uncle Kraus, but it was pretty clear now. When I looked around, I noticed that my father and Aunt Rosa were also grimacing. I'm pretty sure none of them were on good terms with him. It's not just Ava. Apparently there was something besides the weather troubling all of them.
エヴァおばさんもうちの親父もずいぶん機嫌が悪そうっすね。
そう？私はそうは思いませんよ。
I asked Aunt Natsui, who was sitting on my right, but she seemed to be in a bad mood as well. She snapped back as if to say she was absolutely not interested. Sheesh.
まあちょいと大人な話で込み入ってな。バトラ君たち子供は気にせんでええ話や。
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
なあ夏日さん、キリエさん。
Uncle Hideyoshi laughed as he spoke without his usual brightness. So I could vaguely imagine just how complicated their adult conversation had become. On top of that, even Aunt Natsui and Kairi-san, the people he had directed his comment to, ignored him as though they hadn't heard anything. Damn! Yeah, that's a rough crowd. I didn't know what kind of conversation they'd been having while us kids were away, but it reminded me of how Dad said he had stomach cramps when we arrived at the mansion. I thought it was just because he was hungry. Family conference might have been a playful reunion for us kids, but it was definitely different for the adults. After Uncle Hideyoshi's comment was ignored by other adults and an awkward silence fell over the room, Kairi-san spoke up.
子供たちの進路はどうなるのかしらとか、そういう話よ。
We're resorting to lying. Okay.
バトラ君は将来はどうするの？ぼんやりと大学進学？そんなのじゃ長い人生レースのスタートラインとしては心細いわよ。
あいたたたたたた。キリエさん、飯の最中にそんな話されちまったら消化不良で便秘になっちまうぜ。
そうやそうや、バトラ君やジェシカちゃんの進路の話をしとったんや。将来のことは真剣に考えんとあかんで。
I forget what the age gap is between Battler and George, but I think it's not a whole lot, right? Hideyoshi heartily agreed as if they really had been talking about that, but that was probably wrong. Kairi-san had been obviously trying to change the subject. However, if Kairi-san had determined this was the best course of action for now, then she was probably right. Taking this into account, I cast aside my suspicions as to the cause behind Aunt Ava and Dad's bad moods. At long last, the serving cart returned, filled with coffee and tea. Kumasama-san and Shannon-chan served it to everybody. Goda-san then explained that this concluded tonight's meal. Following the mood had been a bit more cheery and might have been the best dinner of my life. It was a shame this best of dinners couldn't have been had under the best conditions. You feeling better?
ジョージお兄ちゃん、これでご飯は終わり？終わり？
うん。これでおしまいだよ。
はしてないわよ。
For what?
お席について、落ち着いてジュースを飲みなさい。
Maria looked like she was really excited by the occasionally crashing thunder. Maybe she wanted to quickly finish eating and run over to the window. She'd been fidgeting for a while, waiting for the meal to end. Some people are afraid of thunder, while others find it interesting. But Rio was apparently one of the latter. Therefore, when she heard from Jordanki that dinner was over, a huge smile broke across her face. She then rose from her seat, took out her handbag, which she had set under the seat, never having left it even while she was eating, and began fishing around inside it. No one seemed particularly concerned by this behavior. What is she looking for?
なんだい？それはどこから持ってきたの？
George was the first to notice it. As he spoke, Battler noticed too. That's not from her, is it? Wait, what? I thought it was just an umbrella. Wait, what? They saw that Maria was now holding a beautiful Western-style envelope. On the front of the envelope, the Ushiromiya family crest, the one-winged eagle, was done in gold leaf. Furthermore, the fact that it was sealed with a dark red wax made it clear that this wasn't something Maria could have brought as a prank.
マリアちゃん、それは何？
What is? Yeah, wait, what is that? It seemed that Natsuki had also noticed the strangeness of the envelope Maria was holding. Her voice sounded too serious for someone admonishing a small child, so the relatives around us finally noticed too.
どうしたよ、夏日姉さん。
それ、何？
Is that like her letter to Hogwarts? But for the Golden Land?
あなた、それをどこで拾ったの？
その封筒は金蔵さんの。
Fucking way. Wait, did she get picked? What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? I don't even know if this is good or bad. I just... Dude. Wait. Oh my god. Is there any fucking information on this? No, it's just the fucking... No. Damn. There's like no previous information or mention of this. I'm pretty sure. I think this is the first time I'm seeing this. When Naja muttered that, even as kids can understand why, everyone seemed to be frozen solid. The envelope the Maria held was one of the Ushiromiya family head's custom-made envelopes for private use. And this 9-year-old just happens to have them. In other words, it can only mean one thing. One thing. This envelope contained a message from Kinzo? It can't be from Kinzo. You wouldn't give Maria an envelope.
どうしてそんな封筒がここにあるんだね。
こいつは面白いもんが飛び出してくるぜ。
ちょいとわしに見せてみ。
ダメ、マリアが読むの。マリアがみんなに読んで聞かせなさいって言われたの。
She told you to read it to everybody? Oh shit, wait, what? Okay. Uncle Hideyoshi tried to snatch the envelope out of Maria's hands, but she protected it as though hugging it and didn't let it go.
秀吉兄さん、子供相手に力ずくなんていけませんよ。マリアちゃん、その封筒はどうしたの？
So Beatrice gave you an umbrella and this envelope?
傘を貸してくれた時にベアトリーチェにもらった。ご飯が終わったらマリアがみんなに読んで聞かせろって言われた。
Is this it? Is this where the game begins? I feel like this is gonna be like the start. Like this is the start of something big. Like we're finally getting into something. I say finally as if nothing before this point had been interesting. It obviously has. I've loved every single moment of this so far. But I say finally as to like what I feel like is going to be the actual core of this novel.
マリアは魔女の
I'm the witch's
メッセンジャーなの。
messenger. Okay.
メッセンジャー？この島の魔女様は随分と洒落てるじゃねえかよ。
Battler tried to joke about it, but no one laughed. You are Battler. Did you just say yourself in third person? That's weird.
それで中には何て書いてあるのかしら？マリアちゃん。
What we got? What we got going on here? We had casually opened the envelope, sealed only with wax. You just had to remove the sealing wax to open it. That sealing wax fell onto the desk. Hideyoshi hastily picked it up and stared fixedly at it. Then stood in the center of the table where Natsuki Kire and Nanjo stared at it. Imprinted in the sealing wax was the one-winged eagle, which was the Ushiromiya family crest, and also Kinzo's personal crest.
こ
これは当主様の紋章？
私は金蔵さんに手紙をもらったことがあるからわかる。これは間違いなく金蔵さんの風浪だ。
でもこのお屋敷にはそれと同じ紋章がいくつもあるのでは？例えば風浪用のハンコのようなものがあれば、金蔵さんでなくても風浪はできるのでは？
いや、金蔵さんは風浪には必ず自分が指にしている後ろ宮家当主の証の指輪で刻印をする。この形や複雑な意匠は間違いなく金蔵さんの風浪だ。 そうとは限らんよ。
And why is that?
親族であれば一度くらいは親父の手紙を受け取ったことはあるはずだ。その風浪をもとに偽の紋章を作り、親父殿を語って刻印した可能性が否めない。
兄貴に同感だ。
How do you prove that?
風浪に刻印されている紋章がどれだけ親父のものに酷似していたとしても、間違いなく親父のものであるとは証明不能だぜ。だからその封筒が親父のものであるという証拠にはならない。
私も全く同じよ。風浪の刻印だけでお父様の手紙だなんて決めつけることには同意できないわ。南條先生、曖昧な言葉は慎んでいただけるかしら。
これは失礼。
She did not like that.
出過ぎた口でしたな。
One after another, all the siblings from Kraus on downwards rejected Nanjo's statement, saying that the envelope Maria held wasn't necessarily from Kinzo. Which they're right, it wasn't. They were afraid. They feared from the bottom of their hearts that Kinzo's intentions were written in there. And that it might be some announcement regarding the inheritance that would be decidedly unfavorable to them. See.
マリア、その封筒は傘を貸してくれた人がくれたのね。じゃわからないでしょ。そうなの？
つまり魔女ベアトリーチェが傘と一緒にマリアちゃんにその封筒を。
Can we see it? I'm kind of like just like sitting here just itching for it, you know? I'd like to just see what's on there. Edge of my seat right now. I'm saying, like, when it cut to black, I thought they were gonna read it right there. I got my hopes up. Maria nodded forcefully.
主人に私も同感です。得体の知れない何者かが手渡した怪文書です。読むにも値します。
Yes, it is.
せめて読むくらいいいじゃねえかよ。なあ。
Just read the damn thing. Bradley started to Jessica in a small voice, trying to act though, but Natsuki heard him clearly and glared at him with threatening eyes.
それでマリアはベアトリーチェに食事が終わったら読めって言われたんだな。
いいじゃないの皆さん。これはおじい様の封筒ではなくベアトリーチェの封筒。誰が書いたのかはともかく中身を聞いてからの判断でもいいんじゃないかしら。
Please, like, let's get to it.
そうやな。
Come on.
お父さんが書いたとは限らんが、中身が気になるのは事実や。
マリアちゃん、さっきは無理やり取ろうとしてすまんかった。謝るから、みんなの前でそれ読み上げてくれんか。
マリア、読みなさい。
As all the relatives stared fiercely at Maria, she spread the letter open with a rustle. Okay.
本当に親父の手紙だと思うか？
No, oh my god, stop fucking stalling.
ありえんね。親父殿が私たちに何かを発表するときは、直接でなければいつだって源氏を通してじゃないか。このようなこじゃれた方法でするとは思えんね。
そうよ。マリアをメッセンジャーに？それこそお父様の趣味じゃないわよ。
I mean, yeah. I mean, the servant's already said it. He's not. Was it playing a clock sound before? Was it playing like a grandfather clock earlier? I only just now realized that. I feel like it wasn't.
ローザ、これはマリアちゃんが私たちを脅かそうという何かの隠し芸なんでしょ？
マリアはそんな気の利いたことができる子じゃないわ。
We're all waiting. It's all up to you. The words came out of Maria's mouth. For some reason, her voice seemed different than usual. Everyone went suddenly silent. Alright.
六軒島へようこそ、後ろ宮家の皆様方。
What is this theme? Welcome to Rokonjima, members of the Ushiromiya family, okay? Wait! 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 She said that, but that didn't sound like her. Wait, what?
私は金蔵様にお仕えしております。当家顧問
Am I tripping?
忍術師のベアトリーチェと申します。
Oh shit!
そんなアホな。
I like this theme though. I'm with it. I'm with it.
黙って。
長年にわたりご契約に従いお仕えしてまいりましたが、本日金蔵様よりその契約の終了を宣告されました。よって本日をもちまして、当家顧問錬金術師のお役目を終了させていただきますことを、どうかご了承くださいませ。
She's no longer gonna be the family alchemist.
くだらん。ざれ言だ。
聞くに耐えません。
Oh, just shut up and let her finish!
さてここで皆様に契約の一部をご説明しなければなりません。私ベアトリーチェは金蔵様にある条件とともに莫大な黄金の貸与をいたしました。その条件とは、契約終了時に黄金のすべてを返還すること。
They have to return the gold? Wait! Oh my god. This is gonna fuck up their deal that they made with Kraus and how he has to pay the amount of the gold to them? This confirms what they were talking about earlier, how Kraus didn't have the gold or if it even existed. She's confirming it right here.
そして利息として後ろ宮家のすべてを頂戴できるというものです。
Everything as interest? What?
むちゃくちゃや。
初めっからむちゃくちゃだぜ。
要するにあれだろ？よくある悪魔の契約みたいなやつなんだろ？ほんで契約がおしまいってことになるから 利子を回収に来たってわけだ。いいんや、長年の退職金のつもりかな。ちゃっかりした魔女だぜ。
バトラ君、今は茶化さない方がいい。
Alright. Battler made a face as if to ask, if I can't make fun of this, what can I make fun of? Again, I thought this was speaking from Battler, but alright. Some of the adults' faces were pale, while others looked dazed.
これだけをお聞きならば、皆様は金蔵様のことをなんと無慈悲なのかとお嘆きにもなられるでしょう。しかし金蔵様は皆様に富と名誉を残す機会を設けるため、特別な条項を追加されました。その条項が満たされた時に限り、私は黄金と利子を回収する権利を永遠に失います。
特別な条項？
それは何よ。
特別条項。契約終了時にベアトリーチェは黄金と利子を回収する権利を持つ。ただし隠された契約の黄金を暴いた者が現れた時、ベアトリーチェはこの権利を全て永遠に放棄しなければならない。利子の回収はこれより行いますが、もし皆様のうちの誰か一人でも特別条項を満たせたなら、すでに回収した分も含めて全てお返しいたします。
Including the portion already collected. So she's already collected some of the money owed?
なお、回収の手始めとしてすでに後宮本家の家督を受け継いだことを示す後宮家当主の指輪をお預かりさせていただきました。
The head's ring that he wears.
封印のろうそくにてそれをどうかご確認くださいませ。
これがそうだというのか。親父が指輪を手放すなどありえん。
House stared at the sealing wax as if trying to burn a hole through it. He's heated. Even Rudolph were doing the same over his shoulder.
確かにチェスの時、金蔵さんの指に何か足りんような違和感は感じ取りました。
南條先生、おぼろげな記憶でいい加減なことを言わないように。
その心眼をここでは測れないわ。本当に指輪をおじい様は誰かに手渡したのか、この手紙が本当の話かどうかはおじい様に直接確認すればいいだけの話じゃない。
So, would you just given her the ring willingly?
そうね。桐江さんの言う通りだわ。
果たして金蔵さんがそれを答えてくれますかな。あの人のお考えは時に人の世の常識では測りかねますからな。どのみちざれ言の息を出んね。第一、黄金幻想自体が親父殿のまやかしだ。ありもしない黄金の話を始めるのはお前たちだけで十分だ。
でも魔女様はおっしゃってるわよ。黄金を見つけた者に家督とすべての財産を引き渡すってね。
Yeah, actually, yeah.
つまりベアトリーチェ様はお父様の顧問弁護士もしくは金庫番でもあられるってことじゃないのかしら。
このような怪しげな文章を子供に託すような怪人物を信用することなどできません。
兄貴、腹を割ってもらうぜ。兄貴の知らない人物が親父の財産管理をしてるようなことはあり得るのか。
I mean, it seems pretty clear.
いや、それはない。私は当主代行として親父殿の全ての財産を把握している。 私に知られずにそれらを自由にできる人間はいないはずだ。
じゃあつまりクラウス兄さんの把握していない財産ってことじゃないの？
バカな、そんなものあるわけがない。
あるわよ。兄さんが把握していない
It's the
お
gold.
兄様の資産。
そんなものあるわけがありません。
いや、あるで。
Mm-hmm.
それがお父さんの、いや、ベアトリーチェの隠し宝庫や。
話を整頓しよう。つまり親父には兄貴も知らない腹心がいた。そしてそいつはずっと黄金の番と運用を任されてきたわけだ。
That was the end of the letter, right? Like, there's still more? Can we go back to that?
あるいは悪魔の契約まがいのルールで融資した神塚の大富豪か。
その腹心のベアトリーチェさんは自分の黄金を融資する相手として息子兄弟の誰がふさわしいか試したいということなのかしら。
Heidi's question was one that all the siblings wanted answered. Upon reflection, they realized that Kinzo's strange epitaph had hung in the hall beneath the witch's portrait for quite some time. And while it had been long whispered that whoever solved the puzzle would receive everything, no one had ever clearly stated it. It was just something that everyone had hoped might be true. And right here, right now, the thing they'd hoped for had been clearly stated in Beatrice's letter. It clearly specified that everything from the Uchinomiya family would be given to the one who found the gold.
黄金の隠し場所については
Thank you, here we
す
go.
でに金蔵様が私の肖像画の下に碑文にて公示されております。
Publicly display the location of the hidden gold.
条件は碑文を読むことができるものすべてに公平に。黄金を暴けたなら私はすべてをお返しするでしょう。それではどうか今宵を金蔵様との知恵比べにて存分にお楽しみくださいませ。今宵が知的かつ優雅な夜になるよう心よりお祈りいたしております。黄金のベアトリーチェ。
Beatrice the Golden. So it begins. Is that so?
お父さん、聞こえているはずです。返事をしてください。
The door to Kenzo's study being violently, harshly beaten against over and over again like a percussion instrument. The yells coming from the other side belonged to Kraus, Rudolph, and sometimes Eva. It was the siblings who were trying to intrude upon Kenzo's study to question him about the truth behind the mysterious letter. Kenzo was eating. Oh, so he does eat. An elegant tablecloth set over the desk, and the fabulous dinner that had adorned the table down in the dining hall, was reproduced here. Kenzo continued his meal in silence. Shannon, taking away an empty plate, looked uncomfortably between the door being pounded on in Kenzo's face.
皆さんがお呼びですが、いかがいたしますか？
捨ておけ。神と我が晩餐は沈黙を尊ぶ。
黙らせますか。
How would you do that?
必要ない。我が耳には届いておらぬ。
Kenzo enjoyed his food, apparently indifferent. Genji quietly lowered his head and took a single step back. As he did, Kanon, who stood in reserve like a shadow behind, and to the side of Genji, opened his mouth.
マリア様がベアトリーチェ様より手紙を受け取られたとのことで、その真偽を確かめたいのでしょう。
あやつめ、早速始めおったか。
She has. The game is on.
さあ、ベアトリーチェ、かけるコインに不足はあるまい。存分に今宵を楽しもうではないか。負ける気はないぞ。お前の微笑みは永遠に私のものだ。もう一度見られるなら、富も名誉も我が命すらも惜しくはない。さて、ルーレットは回り始めた。
The wheels of fate are turning.
ボールはどのポケットに落ちるのか。ノワールか、ルージュか、それとも親の総取りか。さあ始めるがいい、ベアトリーチェ。私が再びお前に奇跡の力というものを見せてやる。
Beatrice. This is it! Yes! It's starting. It's starting. They are all aware. They have to believe it now at this point. Like there's so many different factors, right, that have confirmed and backed up every other weird thing that's happened up until now. Like the epitaph wasn't just some weird like little riddle just for fun and games, right? We now have the letter that sounds like it was spoken live from Beatrice that confirms its authenticity. Like, what more do you need to believe that she's real and exists? And so does the gold. Let's get out there. Let's go find it. The strange letter that the witch had entrusted to Maria wiped all memories of dinner from our minds. Maria was repeatedly barraged with questions by Aunt Rosa and the other parents, and became increasingly ill-tempered when they refused to believe her. If we kids tried to butt in, they'd probably ignore us. Our parents were all stirred up, firing back and forth at the gold and the distribution of the assets and completely forgetting that we were even there. I'd already guessed they'd been talking like this in the shadows, but I hadn't thought they'd be so blunt. It gave all us kids a considerable shock. From what we could overhear, all the parents wanted more money as soon as possible. Back and forth about grandfather's inheritance. Back and forth about the distribution of gold if it was found. About advance payments and cash. It was so despicable I could hardly bear to watch, even though one of them was my father. It looked like Jessica felt the same way. We left our seats without being asked to, and went to hang out somewhere, well, away from our parents.
なるほどな。じいさまが飯の席にも顔を出したくない理由がよーくわかったよ。
Yep, welcome to the cruel reality.
うちの親たちにはすっかり幻滅だぜ。金だの遺産だの。よくもまああそこまで大っぴらに。
俺の場合はクソ親父に幻滅しきってるからよ。 これ以上評価の下がりようがないぜ。
そんなの私だって同じだぜ。しかし今夜のには呆れたぜ。心底呆れたぜ。
Jessica looked down at the floor, irritated. She was always talking about how bad her parents were, but maybe she hadn't really felt that way deep inside. The depths of Jessica's shock made that clear.
未成年の君たちはご両親に養育してもらってるからわからないだろうけど、お金を得るというのは単純な綺麗事じゃないよ。
He says that as if he's like 10 years older than them, but he's like, what, 23, right?
未成年である今にそれを理解しろとは言わない。
Since you're still kids. You like just turned 18.
でも、ご両親なりに何かの努力をしていることだけは認めてあげてほしいな。
やれやれ。ジョージの兄貴は人間ができてるぜ。
ジョージ兄さんは社会人になってバリバリ働いてるけどよ。金とか財産とかそういう話になったら、うちの親父たちみたいに強欲むき出しのハゲタカになれるってのかよ。
He probably will. Man, he's built different.
自分だけの話だったらそんなことはしたくないよ。でも家族や社員、部下やその家族の生活を背負ったら戦わなければならない時もあるかもしれない。
私はそんな戦い嫌だぜ。小さまの遺産がどうのこうのなんて話、ヘドが出るぜ。
Jessica pretended to spit violently. That harsh reaction made the depths of her pain very clear.
もうこの話はやめようぜ。じいさまの隠し黄金がどうのこうの、財産だ遺産だって話は親たちの問題で俺たちの問題じゃないさ。
It's not your problem now.
僕も同感だよ。せめて気を利かせて親たちの話し合いを邪魔しないのが子供の務めだと思うね。
なんだか面白くねえぜ。
Everyone knows the phrase adults are filthy. But we had now seen that for ourselves, and that really did give us a considerable shock. George Aniki was now pretty much an adult, and I had already been disillusioned with my dad, so the shock wasn't that big for us. But Jessica seemed to be taking it hard. Apparently, she'd received a bigger blow than I thought. She always talks badly about her parents, but it looks like she hadn't changed at all on the inside. I mean, even now, she's still a pure-hearted, delicate person who can't doubt others. I'm sure she respected her parents as much as anyone else did. And then her parents started raging about going money, inheritance, my money. Right in front of all the other parents of the children. Yeah, it's no surprise she received such a shock from hearing that.
ジェシカちゃん、どうかお父さんとお母さんのことを嫌いにならないで。理解しろとまでは言わないから、せめてどうか嫌いにならないであげて。
I miss Beatrice's theme already.
わかってるよ。少し放っておいてくれよ。
6 years ago, I would have kept taunting Jessica even after she got all dejected. I guess I really have grown over the last 6 years. I realize it'd be better to just leave Jessica alone right now. Jessica suddenly looked away sulkily and left the parlor. She probably wanted to be left alone for a while. She literally said that. Yeah. I could do nothing but wordlessly watch her back as she left.
そういえば、マリアちゃんはどこに行ったんだろう。
Yeah, where's Peach? I mean, Maria.
多分まだ肖像画の前でいじけてるんだろうぜ。
Maria truly looked up to witches. She'd expected that, coming in direct contact with Beatrice and receiving the letter as proof. It would surprise everyone, make them happy. However, the adults had doubted its authenticity, thoroughly bombarding Maria with questions and refusing to accept her story. Even for me, it wasn't hard to imagine how much that must have hurt Maria. We couldn't speak to Maria or Jessica. In the end, George, Aniki, and I just abandoned ourselves to the sound of the falling rain in the dark night.
台風はどんな感じなんだろうね。ニュースをやってないかな。
George Aniki started walking over to the corner of the parlor where the television was. He hadn't called me over, and I really couldn't have cared less where the typhoon was on the sea now. So, without going over to the television, I loitered around the window.
そんなに風は出てなさそうだけど、海の上はひどいのかしらね。天気予報では暴風警報も聞いてたんだけど。
桐江さんか。大人たちの積もる話はどんな感じなんすか？
She seemed to catch the sarcasm. Kairi-san shrugged. Noted, noted. Taking notes.
この胃の痛くなる話は徹夜で続くのかしら。嫌になるわ。
まあ、せいぜいよろしく。じい様の財産分配について、ハゲタカごっこをお楽しみくださいってんだ。最低の気分だぜ。
Appropriate response.
それに関しては同感よ。バトラ君みたいに席が外せるなら、私もそうしたいわ。でもそうもいかない。たとえ発言権がなくてもね。パートナーも大変よ。
It looks like she's wearing the Night of Devilry shirt from FF. I think that's what it's called. Kairi-san took a deep breath, smiling bitterly. That's right. They probably wouldn't let Kairi-san speak since she only married into the family. But still, as Dad's partner, she had no choice but to stay by his side and support. She's probably had to bear the full brunt of this mental pressure much more than me. I wasn't gonna apologize, but realizing that I'd spoken too harshly, I cut the sarcasm for the time being.
どんな感じなんすか？相変わらず謎の魔女ベアトリーチェの話題で持ちきりですか？
まあね。あの人たちはおじい様が亡くなった時の遺産分配について兄弟4人で話をまとめようとずっと密約を重ねてきた。そこへ未知の5人目が現れて話をややこしくしようっていうんだから穏便な話のわけもないわ。互いを罵り合ったりかと思えば共闘しようってことになったり。夏日姉さんでなくても頭痛がしてくるところよ。
On the one hand, they all want a larger portion than the other siblings, though they're all rivals. But on the other hand, they don't want 1 yen to be snatched up by anyone other than the siblings, though they're all allies. I haven't been told the details, but the siblings were apparently discussing how to protect their shares under various situations. Setting up ceasefire agreements and rules to prevent anyone from getting an unfair advantage, even preparing to resort to legal action if absolutely necessary. They are ready to take it to court over their own family members. It's kind of insane. That they would go this far to preserve their shares was so beyond disgusting that you just had to now acknowledge their resilience.
ってことは、さしずめ。ベアトリーチはじいさまからの資格ってとこですかね。自分抜きで遺産の分配なんて話を勝手に進めてた息子たちに、一泡吹かせたかったんだろうぜ。
何者かしらね、ベアトリーチェって。
The truth has made it abundantly clear.
自称してることが全て本当なら、今日まで誰にも知られずにいた謎の人物で、しかもおじいさまの隠し黄金の存在を知っていて、その上当主の指輪まで委ねられている。相当に信頼された人物ね。
さすがにほうきにまたがった魔女だとは思わないっすけど、でも魔女と呼ぶに値する怪人物であることは間違いないっすね。
マリアちゃんがそのあたりのことを詳しく話してくれればいいのだけど。
You only read what's in the paper.
みんな小さい子にがっつきすぎだわ。すっかり怯えてしまって、聞けるものも聞けなくなってしまった。あの人たち、北風と太陽とか読んだことないのかしら。
The north wind and the sun? I don't know what that's about.
確かなのは、マリアがベアトリーチェと名乗る人物から手紙を受け取ったこと。自分で現れて直接話せばいいものも、手紙を託して今もどこかに身を潜めているっていうシャイな怪人物ですけどね。
ねえバトラ君、ベアトリーチェなんて人物が本当にいると思う？
Please say yes. Just say yes.
さあ、あくまでも偽名じゃないっすかね。じいさまの代理人としてその妄想の中の魔女の名を名乗ることを許されたとか。
ううん、そうじゃなくて。
Where's the sound?
今この六軒島には全部で18人いるの。19人目が存在すると思う？
Monk? Yeah. Oh, it's Monka for sure. Are there really a full 18 people on this island right now? Wondering about that. I began counting on my fingers, and it really did come out to that many.
19人目が存在すると思うって。どういう意味ですか？
言葉通りの意味よ。
They are really good at building suspense. This is like extremely well done.
マリアちゃんに傘を貸した人物は私たち18人の中にはいないらしい。なら19人目がいて、その人物がマリアちゃんに傘を貸したと思うのが妥当じゃない？
ま、そうなりますね。
ならその人物は今どこにいるの？少なくとも雨が降り出した瞬間には島にいた。そしてその後はどんどん天気は悪化して、とても船なんか出せない状態。となればその人物はまだ島の中にいて、どこかで雨宿りをしていなくてはならない。私たち誰の目にも触れずね。
確かに俺たちは屋敷やゲストハウスの中を勝手にうろつき回ってましたが、誰も19人目なんかには会ってないわけですよね。 だけの広さのある島ですし、屋敷やゲストハウス以外に雨宿りできるところだってあるのかも。
But where? Where else would you go? What about this time? I began to realize what direction Kairi-san's suspicions were taking us in. Kairi-san was denying that a 19th person existed. Beatrice was one of us 18. Oh. I see. Okay. Did not get that. In other words, she thought someone we knew well freaking us. Huh.
ベアトリーチェが自称する通りなら、その人物は間違いなく最高の賓客よ。
So, does this mean that they're about to start a game of pointing fingers?
おじい様が信頼する最高の腹心。そんな人物をおじい様が歓待しないわけがない。お屋敷に迎え入れないわけはないのよ。でも私たちは誰も見ていない。
待ってくださいよ。それはちょいと請求な推理じゃないですか。確かに誰の目にも触れてはいないけれど、だからって19人目を否定することにはならないんじゃないですか。何かの理由があってこっそり上陸してずっと隠れているのかも。悪魔の証明ってやつっすよ。いることを証明するのはたやすい。ベアトリーチェってやつが俺たちの前に現れて挨拶すりゃ解決する。
I think she's going to do exactly that. I think she's going to do quite, like, maybe not say hi, but I think she's definitely going to, actually show up. I'm 100% certain that she is real, a real person and, human being in this. And she will make herself present to the group. I wholeheartedly believe it. Wholeheartedly believe it.
でも19人目がいないことを証明するのは不可能っすよ。
バトラ君の推理の仕方は悪くないわ。現在の状況では19人目の存在を認めるにも否定するにも情報が足りない。でもね、チェス盤をひっくり返して考えるとほぼ19人目はありえないって断言できちゃうのよ。
Then the chessboard round was one of Kairi-san's favorite phrases. Umineko loves chess. I've been influenced by these words and use them myself from time to time. When you get stuck trying to find a move in chess or shogi, then by spinning the board around and looking at everything from your opponent's standpoint, you can often see a strategy that will give you the upper hand. It means turning things around and putting yourself in your opponent's shoes.
いい？仮に19人目の人物としてベアトリーチェが実在したとして、
She does.
その人物は誰にも知られることなくこっそりとこの島に上陸しずっと隠れていた。
Or she spawned here and just never left. That's what I think.
何かの理由があってね。ならどうしてわざわざ姿を現してマリアちゃんに手紙を渡したの
？It really was a contradiction. If they had some reason for hiding them, then they should have stayed hidden the whole time. But even so, they had appeared openly in front of Maria.
それはほらマリアも言ってた。メッセンジャーにされたって って言ってたじゃないですか。マリアが一番年下で素直そうだったからじゃ。
メッセンジャーなんて必要なの？手紙を親族会議の席上に送りたかったら郵送すればいいだけの話よ。
Oh yeah, you're just gonna read it normally? Maybe Beatrice was driving the battle bus. Oh, where are we dropping? Are we dropping on Rokenjima, huh? Rokenjima Towers?
4人の兄弟全員に郵送すれば黙殺することもできない。手紙を持参してこっそり手渡す理由がないのよ。
確かに。なんだかおかしな話っすね。
そもそもベアトリーチェが存在していて、その存在をアピールしたいならみんなの前に堂々と姿を現せばいいだけの話。
Beatrice Domino's delivery theory by Lakos Rosa. Maybe she could. Could you imagine getting DoorDash to Rokenjima of all places, right? And they DoorDash it on the boat, and you get to the door, and it's Beatrice. She's holding your Domino's or holding your bag of Taco Bell. You gotta tip her at least one gold bar.
なのに現れず、マリアちゃんという小さな子を通しておぼろげな輪郭だけでその存在を主張しようとする曖昧さ。矛盾。もっと考えて。
You wanna go deeper?
マリアちゃんの前に姿を現し、19人目の存在を印象づけるという点と、にもかかわらず、
$3 tip just for people to forget your straw.
今この瞬間も私たちの前に姿を現さず隠れ続けている点。
I feel like if there's anybody that's had like terrible DoorDash service with like record and experience of it, it would be Ariamis. I feel like if there's anybody that could just stand to that.
これらの矛盾。これを念頭に置いた上でチェス盤をひっくり返すの。つまり19人目の人物としてベアトリーチェがいると印象づけたい人物の目論見は何かよ。
姿を隠したい人物ならその存在をアピールするわけがない。そして姿を現したい人物なら手紙を託すなんて遠回しをするわけがない。
What is really so deep about this? I'm just like, can we just not accept the fact that Beatrice is real? And like, I don't know, I would like to think at least Battler, maybe not Kairi-san because she's a little bit older and she's like an actual adult, right? But at least Battler would have some sort of whimsy and just think, what if the funny witch lady just wanted to do it that way? What if she thought that having the little 9-year-old give the really big important message to the entire family? I mean, what's so like wrong or weird about that? But it seems like everything has to come down to logic. Everything has to make sense in some fashion or order. And you get these contradictions like you get right now. Like you're not ever going to understand it. It's never going to make sense if you think it has to align with something logically. I'll probably get a witch show up at my front door instead of my food. Yes. Turn you into a toad. Lame ass family has no whimsy. I'm saying Maria is carrying this family. She's carrying this family. That's exactly why Beatrice chose her out of everybody. Out of everybody. Next in line would be Kumasawa. But that's about it. That's really the only ones.
ってことは
簡単よ。
Not a damn drop of whimsy. And it's because they all come from Kingzo, of all people. Like, of course not.
ベアトリーチェは18人の中にいるのよ。 だからこそ18人以外の人物が存在するような幻想を作り出しているのよ。これ見よがしな19人目のアピール。それで得をするのは姿を潜めた19人目じゃない、すでにいる18人の方なのよ。もちろんこの推理は穴だらけ。
This whole thing is Swiss cheese, man. Like it's just as simple as it was Beatrice speaking to Maria. Like, come on, man.
いくつかの前提がひっくり返るだけですぐに崩れる脆いものだけど、私はほぼ間違いないと見てるわ。
You really think it's one of the original people? Because then, if so, that brings up the thought, well, who? Which one of the original 18 people? Which one of these people in this fucking family would be the pseudo Beatrice? Who was most likely to do this? Eva? Like, if for some reason it somehow was one of the original 18 people here, who would it be then? Who would go through the trouble of getting Kinzo's ring to write this letter, right? Seal it into an envelope, and then either willingly give it to Maria or somehow slip it in her bag. Because, like, I just at the end of the day, right, Maria has to have known who that person was that gave her the letter. If it wasn't Beatrice, but it was somebody who said, hey, tell everybody I'm Beatrice, then who would it still be at the end? Like, you know. I feel like if it wasn't actually Beatrice and it was one of the 18, Maria would have said it, right? She's not good at lying. This is starting to feel pretty creepy. Someone lent Maria the umbrella and handed her the letter. Supposedly, none of the 18 did this. And yet, Beatrice was hidden among those 18. What was this person planning? Hiding their true form and pretending to be Beatrice.
マリアちゃんの自作自演も疑ったんだけど、文章の内容が非常に手が込んでて、マリアちゃんが自前で用意したとは考えがたい。でもマリアちゃんが何者かと共謀している可能性も否定できないわ。
おいおい、マリアは9歳のお子様だぜ。誰と何を共謀するってんだよ。しかも愚直で真面目で素直なあの性分だぜ。
ええ、私もマリアちゃんの性分はよく理解しているわ。でもだからこそあり得ると思うの。魔女に憧れ、その存在を盲信している夢見がちな少女。そこにベアトリーチェと名乗る人物が現れて魔女だと名乗ったら、彼女はそれを大喜びで鵜呑みにして信じるんじゃないかしら。
Still, according to their theory, though, it's one of the 18 people that just did that. Which means Maria would have recognized.
つまりあの肖像画のごついドレスを着て変装すればマリアを騙すことは難しくないと。
You know, I said Eva jokingly, but going off of that sentence, that could be more likely.
その論法になっちゃうと、私たち女性陣はみんな疑われちゃうことになるんだけどね。とにかくマリアちゃんが何者に出会ったのか、それの詳細を聞くことがこの謎を解く一番にして最も身近な鍵なのよ。しかしその鍵は少女の心の奥に堅くなに閉ざされてしまったわ。みんなが頭ごなしに魔女の存在を否定し、一体その人物は誰なのかと問い詰めすぎた。マリアちゃんは当分大人には心を開かないでしょうね。
Good. They don't have whimsy anyways. You did all this. In the dim hall front of the portrait of Beatrice, Maria was sobbing. I'm sorry, Maria. I'm sorry. I know.
ベアトリーチェとくれた手紙も見せたのに、それでも信じてくれないの。
It's okay. Look, they're just adults, right? Don't worry about it. Look what you motherfuckers are doing. Like, holy shit. Kenzo was right about each and every goddamn one of you. Kenzo was right. This is why he hates all your asses.
ベアトリーチェが18人の中にいるのか、19人目なのか、それを知る鍵をね。
マリアは頑固だぜ。あいつ、へそを曲げるとなかなか機嫌を直さないからな。
大人の私より子供のバトラ君の方が機嫌を直せる確率は高そうよ。彼女の機嫌が直ったら聞いてみて。遺産分配がどうのこうのって話には関心ないけど、こんな王道洋館ミステリーみたいなシチュエーションにはワクワクしちゃわない？マリアちゃんに手紙を渡した人物は一体誰なのか。知的好奇心がうずくわ。
うんざりするような金の話に付き合わされてもワクワクとは実にタフなことだぜ。大人はすげえや。
Me. I give it to her. Thank you, Brady. Glad. I shrugged, exasperated. But I did notice something. Kyrie noticed how dejected I was after overhearing our parents' turbulent discussion. It was probably trying to clear the air. At the very least, I'd recovered enough to voice my complaints. She wasn't my real mother, so I've never felt like calling her mom. I get that. But it did make me think she's a real adult.
Oh, ガキども、ここにいたのか。
And we were having a great time, too. Weren't you sure?
キリエも長え化粧直しじゃねえか。俺も次からは化粧をしてくることにするぜ。
What?
ごめんなさい。女の化粧は長いのよ。どう？兄弟水入らずの話し合いは。
さぞや和気あいあいとしてるだろうよ。
Patty's gonna poke the weak spot under my arm with her elbow.
一度頭を冷やそうってことで小休止さ。こりゃ夜通しになりそうだぜ。泣けてくれ。
Go ahead. His way of talking hadn't changed, but he couldn't completely hide his fatigue. He couldn't say it was sympathetic, but he looked pitiful compared to his normal energetic self.
しかしひでえ雨だな。ゲストハウスに戻るのも嫌になるぜ。夏日姉さんが屋敷で泊まれるよう準備してくれたらしい。どうする
？3階になった時に考えてもいいんじゃない？部屋に戻る体力もなくなってたら その時はお世話になりましょうよ。
そうだな。その時に考えりゃいいか。バトラーはどうする？
俺がいちゃお邪魔だろうからよ。気使って向こうに戻るぜ。
そうか。
そうか。
すぐ戻るのか？
さあな。一人で戻ったって寂しいしよ。子供全員で揃って帰ることにするぜ。
そうだな。そうするといい。それで、バトラー。
Is he about to say something nice?
お前、今夜はそうは簡単には寝ないだろう。
多分、いとこたちとおしゃべりしてるだろうからな。夜更かししそうな気配はあるぜ。それがどうかしたのかよ。
そうか。もし大人たちの会議が終わってお前がまだ起きてたら、ちょいと家族でしたい話があるんだ。
なんだよ。柄にもねえな。
Apparently, Cardi-san was thinking the same thing. Well, about what? What are you talking about? She asked him in a small voice. Looked like Cardi-san didn't have a clue what Dad meant either.
キリエにも聞いてもらいたい話だ。後で話すから、今は聞くな。
What do you have planned, Rudolph?
頼む。
I don't know anyone who neglects the concept of family as much as this old bastard. Now you say we're gonna have a talk as a family? Both Kari and I couldn't help but get wide-eyed.
そうビビった顔すんなよ。ビビりてえのは俺の方なんだ。
Uh-oh. Oh shit, that might be worse.
何しろ。
After all... At that point, he swallowed his words for an instant. Even though putting on airs of importance wasn't much like my dad. Is he going broke? Is that what he's about to announce?
気持ち悪いぜ、親父。今、家族は全員揃ってるじゃねえかよ。もったいぶらずに言えよ。
俺は多分、今夜、殺されるだろうな。
Each one of you knew this was going to happen. Each one of you knew exactly what was going to happen and why you said be nice to him. Okay. Well, this is a little awkward after everything I've said about him. Like, he can I don't know, he can be like an asshole or whatever sometimes, or a bastard or whatever. But I didn't think that I didn't think this was gonna happen. I don't think he deserves to die. I didn't say because of that. Let me crack some jokes. Oh, okay. I'm just saying, if it was, I could totally understand it now. I just assumed, but okay. I mean, if he's supposed to tell some jokes too, then by all means, that's let him do it. Reaction, dude. How the fuck was I supposed to predict that? What the fuck? I thought he was gonna say he was gonna go broke, like he was gonna lose that case against the U.S. company or whatever that they were talking about in the last stream. He has like a court case going on right now with his company. I thought he was gonna say they were gonna be about to lose. He was gonna go broke. I think he was gonna fucking die. What kind of fucking just bombshell is that? Okay, I forgot he said that and went back trying to solve the mystery now, and that's very interesting. Yeah. He's right. Huh. Alright, well, shit. Let's see how this goes. There was a huge crash of thunder. It must have been really close. Dad's expression, brightly illuminated by the lightning, was burned into my eyes. Dad's face, which always looked so sure of it himself, and which always wore a taunting expression, strangely frail in a way I couldn't really explain. It was so worn out that he had looked like a different person.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying.
何言ってんだよ、ガルでもね。
What the fuck is so funny?
同感よ。どうしたの？急に弱気ね。あなたらしくもない。
俺も化粧直しに行ってくる。
This man is dying, and you're laughing? He's about to get killed. And you're giggling?
ついてくんなよ。
Dad turned away weakly. Look, alright, look. In case that actually does happen, I don't know. I don't know if he's just fucking with them or what. But in case it actually does happen, look, I'm just saying, like, despite everything that I've said about him up until now, I don't think he's really that bad of a guy. Like I'm not saying he's like a bad guy. I didn't mean to say that he was like a bad guy or anything. But I'm just I just kind of felt like he was like a weird kind of asshole kind of character, and I just thought that was like his thing, you know. But I didn't really think he was like a bad guy or anything because of it, you know. That's what I thought about Kraus. But even Kraus turned around. Like everybody can still turn around, you know. It just is what it is. After that, only Kyrie and I were left, still wide-eyed.
なんだってんだ。今夜殺される？まさか、あの妙な手紙のせいで、親父ビビっちまったのか？連続殺人者の映画の見過ぎだぜ。
Kyrie's didn't answer my lighthearted words and continued to stare at my dad's disappearing back.
バトラ君はルドルフさんに今話せと言ったら話さず立ち去った。みんなに話すことがあると言い出しながら答えなかった。どうして？チェス盤をひっくり返す。すると
話すと言っておきながら話せない矛盾。なんすかね。親父側から見ると、 何か見えてきますか？
ええ、見えるわよ。話したいことがある。でも自分から言い出す勇気がない。だから追ってきて俺に話しかけて聞き出してくれが正解ね。ついてくるなも逆の意味よ。ついてきて俺を問い詰めてくれが正解。まったく甘えん坊さんなんだから。
そういう推理でいいんすか？そんなんめちゃくちゃな。
名探偵や名刑事が男女の気持ちや心を推理できる？できないでしょ？異性の気持ちを探るのは何次元のトリックを暴くよりはるかに高度な技術なのよ。私に言わせれば名作推理小説より恋愛小説の方がよっぽど難解なミステリーなんだから。
はあ、そういうもんすかね。
私はあの甘えん坊さんと一緒にいるわ。普段は虚勢を張ってるけど、今夜はかなりの激論で疲れ切ってる。誰かに寄りかかりたい気持ちなんでしょうね。それに応えるのがパートナーの役目よ。
はあ、そりゃお熱いことで。じゃあうちのクソ親父の世話をよろしく頼みますよ。
ええ、任せておいて。
Says departing back.
え？何？
いや、ありがとよって。おかげで陰鬱な気分がだいぶ晴れたぜ。
ならよかった。コミュニケーションは大事ね。
Was answering with a wink, Carter said, followed after that. That's fucking heavy, dude. Does that mean that he was chosen by the roulette? And if so, how would he know that? Or what would give him the idea that he's gonna get he would get killed tonight? Where the fuck did that come from? Natsui could be found in a dimly lit hall. Now and then, thunder would crash, but this had no effect on Natsui's expression. She looked completely worn out. The discussion that had just taken place between the relatives in the dining hall was repeating itself inside Natsui's mind. Maybe he's just fucking around some more? I really hope so. I'd like to think that this could just be a friendly game of a puzzle between all family members to find this gold. I don't think anybody should have to die. Even though one of the steps of the night is like 6 sacrifices or something like that. That hasn't been confirmed that it's people sacrifices. Beatrice had proclaimed that in addition to the gold, all of the inheritance and property of the Ushinomiya family would be given to the persons who could solve the riddle. In other words, she planned to undermine the absolute guarantee that Kraus, as the oldest brother, had to succeed the family head. Originally, the other siblings had absolutely no chance to inherit the headship. To them, this proposal by Beatrice was extremely desirable. It was obvious that they would accept it. There was no need to play some clumsy detective game. Natsui knew that this so-called 19th person, Beatrice, couldn't exist. Naturally, Beatrice was nothing more than a fictional character used to pass a message that Kenzo had written himself. As proof, Kenzo had remained stubbornly neutral as to the letter's authenticity. He was completely ignoring these reckless claims that he shouldn't have been able to ignore. That he had given up on the head's brain. In short, Kenzo had wordlessly admitted that the letter held his own message. Most likely, one of the servants had given Maria the letter. Really? That's what we're going with. Kenzo had probably worked out an elaborate plan where the dress from the portrait would be prepared, and someone, probably Shannon, would be made to wear it and deliver the letter in the umbrella. Doing that, he could make it seem like the witch from the portrait actually existed. Okay, going with that for a second, right? They're saying that Kenzo, someone who already doesn't give less fuck about Maria, wrote a letter, had Shannon dress up as Beatrice from the portrait, go up to Maria, RP as Beatrice, and say, read this to the family after the meal has been had. This is after she gives Maria the umbrella, and it gives her an envelope with the instructions. Goes back inside, changes out or whatever, gets back just in time to push the serving cart into dinner, and then when asked about it, just sit there and promptly lie in front of everybody. Is that what they're really saying? Is that really what we're gonna go with? That Shannon is capable of lying to everybody, like to their faces? Come on. Come on. No. If anything, that alone was proof that Kenzo was behind all this. Cross-dressing Kenzo. Could you put a golden wig on Kenzo's head and that dress, that Victorian era dress on him, and have him finally leave his room, not for the dinner that was prepared for him, no, to just go and act like an old witch to give an umbrella to Maria, and come on. No. In that case, it was the same as Kenzo trying to butt in on the siblings' private discussion. Then Kenzo, by announcing that he'd given everything to the person who solved the riddle, could weaken Krause's overwhelming advantage. Now it was certain. Kenzo had eavesdropped the siblings' discussion in the parlor earlier that day. So he had known how Krause had staved off the attack by the other three, and to make the scales of the battle go back into balance, he had sent out this strange letter which benefited Krause's rivals. Trying to push this crazy theory so that Rosa, who had a weak position among the siblings because of her age, would join with Eva and Rudolph. Then, with a 3-to-1 advantage, they'd be able to overwhelm Krause yet again and make their ridiculous theories get accepted by force. And by doing that, he gave them the power to resettle what had once been nearly decided conflict. They had now started repeatedly pressing Krause to pay them a large amount of money, using the condition that all siblings would guarantee Krause's position as the successor. Talk about advanced payments was being brought up again, despite having been rejected once. Of course, even without the story about the hidden gold, Luciomia family's store of wealth was vast. That store of wealth alone was more than enough. Even if the hidden gold was buried forever along with Kenzo's death, there would be more than enough to satisfy. Therefore, even if they weren't that interested in the gold itself, Kenzo had managed to instill the lifelong fear that, on the off chance that someone had found the gold, that person would be granted headship. And this kind of Achilles heel would definitely be taken advantage of by someone sooner or later. The only person with this fatal weakness was the successor Krause. The other siblings had found, no, they had been told by Kenzo about something that only Krause could lose, and they had thoroughly taken advantage of them. Natsu, Krause's only ally in this painful position, and as his wife, wanted to fight alongside him. She kept trying to explain to him that the existence of the gold itself was a farce and that there was no need for him to compromise. That was weird. Kraus had always told Natsu. He had told all the siblings. He always said that the hidden gold was nothing more than an illusion created by Kinzo. Therefore, Natsui had believed it as his wife and had supported her husband on that foundation. Even so, Natsui's words didn't reach Kraus. Even though Natsui had fought so hard and had lent all of her strength, he continued to fight by himself and was trying to compromise with the other three siblings. Natsui sadly, weakly wondered why she could not be of use to him and started getting angry. It had happened when everyone decided to take a short break to cool their heads. Natsui had flared up against Kraus. Enraged, she had asked why she could not be useful to him. He had then told her that he wanted to talk about something and invited her to a room that she was normally not allowed to enter. That room had been sealed with a heavy-looking padlock, and just looking at it had given her an uncomfortable feeling.
他の3人の言うことも、ベアトリーチェを名乗る不審人物の言うことも、何も気にかけることはありません。黄金など所詮はお父様が生み出したまやかし。それを見つけられることなどあるわけがない。
No whimsy.
あなたが跡継ぎであることは盤石です。何を恐れることがあるのです。
Kraus removed the padlock on the door. Then motioned for Natsui to answer.
入りたまえ。
何ですか？
見せたいものがある。君に初めて見せるものだ。
What is it? Natsui timidly opened the door with a dubious expression on her face. It was pitch black. She searched for a switch to turn on the lights, but since this was her first time in the room, she didn't know where she was or where it was. Kraus entered behind her, pushing her in, and when he closed the door before turning on the lights, the two were swallowed up by darkness. Only the sound of Kraus locking the door rang out through the dark.
これは何事ですか？明かりは？
今つける。待ちたまえ。
Just as he said, when Kraus pushed the switch on the wall, a flickering light turned on and lit up the room.
それは。
Natsui had her breath taken away. The room had no windows, and at a glance it appeared to be empty. In the middle of the room, a small, round table had been set, and the lights brightened only that table as if it were the leading part in the play. At the top of the table, a red tablecloth of elaborate design had been set out, covered with dust. On top of that, something about the size of a grown man's arm had been set down. Where the fuck is this going? That something took Natsui's breath away. What the fuck? I hate my heart.
凄まじい純度を持つ黄金のインゴットだよ。
No, 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 no. That's oh no 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 no. I said this. I holy shit, dude. I said this. I said this in the last stream. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. What did I say, dude? What did I fucking say? Oh my god. Before anything is even explained. Oh my fucking god, I knew it, dude. I said this. I literally fucking said. That was my first theory. This motherfucker Kraus. I should have goddamn known, dude. I should have fucking known. There was a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything, and I knew it. I fucking knew it, dude.
こいつがなければ誰も黄金伝説を信じはしなかった。
It was an ingot of solid gold. Even in the faint light, it sparkled with a noble and dignified glint.
こいつはまともなインゴットじゃない。 このインゴットを鋳造したのが国内なのか国外なのか、それすらも私にはわからないんだ。
It took a high level of skill to make the purest of solid gold ingots. And in order to verify that purity, it was standard to have the original foundry and the name of the bank that guaranteed it imprinted on the gold. However, this gold ingot did not have that kind of seal. This mysterious gold bar came from an unknown foundry.
ここを見たまえ。怯えることはない。こいつはただの金塊だ。
Naturally, following across his words, timidly approached the ingot.
そこだ。
Kraus pointed at the surface of the ingot. Naturally, concentrated on that section. Right there was the thin imprint of the one-winged eagle crest. Natsui's breath was taken away once again.
そうだよ。これこそが親父がベアトリーチェに与えられたといい、保証人のマルソーの会長に任意で一つを抜き取らせて持ち帰らせ。
So this is what guaranteed that president to trust Kinzo. This is what that guy saw. This gold ingot. Okay, so then that means it does exist. It fully does exist at this point.
財界のフィクサーたちを信用させたという伝説のインゴットなのだよ。方々に手を尽くして私が見つけた。他の兄弟たちより早くね。
そんな。じゃあ、お父様の黄金伝説は
実在する。
I was always a believer. I was always a believer from day one.
後宮金蔵が授けられたベアトリーチェの黄金は実在するのだよ。
そんな。本当にあるなんて。
You were shocked? Kraus had always said that Kinzo's gold was just a fabrication. So she believed it, as his wife. However, the reality was different. Since he held definite proof, he had been more certain than any of his other siblings that the legend of the gold was true. That one piece is real as fuck. The one gold is true. The one gold is true. Because of this, Kraus was deeply frightened at the possibility that someone other than himself would find the gold he failed to find. costing him everything. Oh my god. If I was him, if I was him, oh my god. You know what? I didn't understand it. Hey, you know what? On second thought, actually, I understand it. I fully understand it. Not so. This truth was more than enough to split her open heart. Split open her heart. She had thought that, as Krause's wife, she should be his closest confidant, which was why she had selflessly supported him. And yet he had hid this fact from her until today. Why?
そこまでに私はあなたの信頼に足りないというのですか？
そういうつもりはない。話す必要がなかっただけだ。
あなたにとっては妻はその程度のものなのですか？
This right here. This right here is what he was predicting. That's why he didn't tell you.
落ち着きたまえ。劇場にすぐ駆られるのは君の悪い癖だ。
あなたがそうさせてるんじゃないですか？私は後宮家に嫁ぎ、今日まであなたの妻として仕えてきました。あなたのために生まれた家を捨て、身も心も捧げてお仕えしてきました。その報いがこれなんですか？そんなことって。
Krause grimaced, looking annoyed. His expression effectively communicated how much he disliked this part of Natsu, even if he didn't say it out loud.
私はもうあなたの力になれそうもありません。
うん。それでいい。
That's fine. He's okay with it. God damn.
兄弟のトラブルを私が自分の力で解決する。
Shit. Krause is a bitch. I'd love on Natsu like it was my job. Yes. Yeah. You know, and I've already said it before, right? But like, he has his moments, you know? Like, that's why I said earlier, like, you hate him, but respect him. Because he clapped back on each one of the siblings that pressed him. Each one of them came at him from a different angle. And he held it all back. He was reserved the entire time and clapped back on all of them, aired out all their dirty laundry. They didn't know that he knew. But in this little circle, in this little scenario, nah. Krause is still a bitch. He can have his moment, but Krause is still a bitch. Hell. At the end of the day, a wife is still a wife, bro. That's still a lifelong partner. She doesn't deserve this. I know I ragged on her last time about her pride and whatnot, but like, still, okay, at the end of the day, you know, she still doesn't deserve this.
君の力を借りんよ。
違います。これは後宮家のトラブルです。確かに私にはこの身に家紋を刻むことが許されていません。でもあなたの妻です。なのに私には力添えする資格もないのですか？
Exactly what he's saying.
あなた。
君を思えばこそあえて関わらせなかったのだ。これ以上は頭痛に障るだろう。君は今夜はこれで休みたまえ。兄弟の話は兄弟でつける。君は関係ない。それだけだ。
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. You're right, Brady. You were right from last time. Crazy shit did happen. Crazy shit did fucking happen. I cannot believe it. Like actually getting that letter from Beatrice, right? And just and now having so many theories, so many questions I had confirmed from one letter, right? From one letter and one bar of gold, just confirmed so many things just now. Like this is actually crazy how much has happened just in this alone. We've advanced so far. What's crazy is that you said you're gonna assume an additional 2 hours even after you went 30 minutes overtime. So that's even crazier. Just keep reading. I already set it to 8:30. What do you mean? I said I always make today longer than usual. I usually stop at like 7:30, but on Thursdays I make it till 8:30. That's what I normally do. What do you mean? Okay. I'll go till no, not 10 p.m. 8:30 p.m. I'm pretty sure that's what I set it to. Hold on. Let me double check. Didn't I set it to 8:30? Yeah, it says 8:30. It says 8:30 on the schedule. I heard he was gonna stream. Wait, hey, chill. Wait, whoa. I did not say that. Look, I did not say that. Okay, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I can't do this every single day. Okay. There's other stuff that's gonna go on too. All right. I've already got next week's schedule set up already. Okay. I've already got that set. Look, these times are good, guys. I already give y'all an hour more than I do for normal stream times. All right, I already do. And depending on what's going on, I'll stretch it to like maybe an extra 15 minutes or so longer. Like I gotta eat. I still gotta eat dinner. I haven't eaten. You know, still gotta eat stuff. Come on, guys. We know the rules. So do I. It's my diet now. Honestly, with how long this is, I probably could survive. If I could somehow convert my body to just like absorb and like if I could somehow like convert my body or like configure my body so that way reading Umineko counted as like absorbing nutrients and like food, kind of like photosynthesis, I would. Like if I could just learn photosynthesis and use Umineko as as like my source, I'd do it. I'd do it. I would just take it by like osmosis. Just bring it in, Just bring it in. Honestly, that's a lot of good prog. It's a lot of good prog. It's a lot of good prog. This was really good today. This was really good today. We saw one of the gold bars that's confirmed that it's real. I mean, I always believed it was real. I knew it was real. But now there's confirmation. There's visual confirmation of it. And then two, the game has now finally begun. Beforehand, the kids were just jokingly trying to solve the riddle, trying to figure out what would mean what part. But now, it's actually like a real. Now the adults know about it, and it's actually confirmed a real thing. Like this is what Beatrice actually had it planned for everybody. So it's great. We're all on the same page, and we can all start at the same time, the same way. It's good stuff. Honestly, it's good stuff. I thought today was really good. This has definitely been one of my favorite sessions of this so far. Absolutely. Absolutely, dude. Honestly, I think we'll see her before the end of the year. I think we'll definitely see her before the end of the year at least. I don't know when she actually officially shows up, but I have a good feeling we'll see her before the end of the year. Okay. I need to at least make something before it gets too late at night. I don't like eating dinner super late because then it like throws off my hunger timing for like the rest of the day. Start getting hungry at like 2 a.m. It's not good. One last thing before I do go though, as it was promised, is I'm gonna put these I gotta put these rubber bands on this watermelon real quick. That's it. Where's my phone? Ching. Does that already start showing up? It does. Hey, look at that. Okay. We have 11 rubber bands queued up. Scratch that. 16 queued up. This here real quick. I can't math. What is that? That's 97. Yeah. So we're up to plus 5 more. That's 112. So that's it was 11. Right. Okay. And then 16, 21. So it's 21 rubber bands. That's 21 rubber bands. Good God. All right, hold on. All right. I think I did that math. Let me get the rubber bands. That's a lot of rubber bands. Okay. Let's add this. We got 1. Yeah, let's add like 10 more. So, wait, so 2. Okay. 3. So 4. Stop moving. God damn it. Get up there, please. This is 4. I said 4. Stay there. 5. Shit. This might be too small. Get the fuck on there. Damn it, get the fuck on there. 5. 6. Oh, okay. I think 1 fell off. I'm gonna have to open up the other bag of rubber bands. Fuck. 7. 8. No, I'm not even gonna count that. That's just not gonna work. 9, maybe. No. Motherfucker. Come on. Oh man. Get around on me. Jesus. 12. Oita. 13. Okay. Come on. 14. Alright, let me open up another bag of rubber bands real quick. Don't let me forget, we're at 14. 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. Okay. 15. I feel it rolling back up. I need to put them farther around the sides. 15. Somebody definitely coming back up. 16. 17. 18. No, that's not number. This should be 18. 18. Oh, that was the rubber band. That was the rubber band. Okay. Alright, that was just a rubber band. 18. Let's sweep this towards the middle. 19. God damn it. 20. No. 20. And finally, 21. Alright. All caught up. 21 rubber bands. Bands, bands, bands make your dance. Alright then, guys. GG's. Hope you all enjoyed today's session. Got some good frauds. Tomorrow is going to be Trove. Maybe leveling, grinding, etc. in Trove. And then, yeah. The week after should already be set. I'm going to take a look at that one as well. Should be good to go. Go ahead and close this. All right. Appreciate y'all coming through. Appreciate. One time as always. We love Umineko. All right, y'all. I will see you all later. GG's.